This problem requires you to classify operations according to two different schemes simultaneously. It's also a good example of a problem that's not as complicated as it first seems if you just take a little bit of time to assess it. Let me show you what I mean. Consider the following 5 situations. Okay, construction of a luxury cruise ship, operation of a casual dining restaurant, staging of a professional sports match, manufacturing a patented drug, and rescuing stranded animals from a flooded area. Now consider the following grid, which indicates 5 positions marked A, B, C, D, and E. Oh, that would be this one. Oh, match each of the 5 operations to the 5 positions. Now, first off, let's just back off for a second and look at the whole thing. Right, you have 5 different operations, and we should list them. That'll kind of help simplify this problem. But first, what is it that we're trying to do? We're trying to, if you look at this grid, decide whether they're production and service management, project management, event management, and incident management, the 4 areas of operations management, and simultaneously decide to what degree they are a good versus a service, which is another way, a different way of categorizing operations, right? Given the measurement here and the measurement here, you get a position on the grid. Oh, all right, well, that seems pretty complicated, and we better list out the 5 things and do those 2 assessments, but wait, do you notice something? On this grid, there are only 5 positions. And if you look at the 4 categories across the top, you'll see that there is only 1 potential spot in 3 out of the 4 categories, meaning that once you decide something is definitively, for instance, event management, it would have to also be the second classification scheme, highly intangible, because there's no other position to pick from. So it's really only the production and service management, whichever ones we decide fit that description, that we also have a second chore, and we have to decide for each one of them the degree of goods versus services, because there's 2 different positions. All right, now, again, just to help us tackle this, let's go back and look, what is it that we are trying to classify? Construction of ship. I'm kind of summarizing here, right? But that's that first one right there. Casual dining, I can just write restaurant, the operation of a restaurant. Staging a pro sports match. And let's see, manufacturing, keyword, manufacturing a patented drug, rescuing stranded animals. So I'm just going to write rescuing animals. For each one of these letters belongs to it, so to speak. One of these letters, now here I can move it up, best represents it. Oh, all right, now where do we start? Well, let's look. Remember I said manufacturing? I keyed in on that, the manufacturing of a drug, a patented drug. Manufacturing, making something over and over again, is classic production and service management. Now, there's 2 things in that category, 2 positions. So I can't immediately attach a answer, so to speak, to this one, but I know that it's got to be the drug one, so to speak, has got to be in that column somewhere. All right, now let's see if I can simplify this list. Now wait, rescuing animals. I know I just went to the bottom of the list, but I'm thinking about, well, which ones can I pin down? Rescuing animals, stranded animals from a flooded area. Okay, so that would be something that wasn't scheduled, right? Because the flood wasn't scheduled. It's something that's unexpected. It's something that's very pressing. It needs to be done right now, right? In order to save the animals. That is classic incident management. That's what an incident is. It's an unexpected requirement that needs immediate resolution. You know, you need to do something about this right now. Oh, okay, so at least, let me pick a contrasting color of ink. I'm pretty confident that rescuing animals is E under incident management, and that makes sense because that would be a pure service. No sort of tangible component to that, or very little tangible component to that. Now, I noticed that similar along the pure service line, there's a position D, event management. And you might have been saying, well, rescuing animals, why didn't, wouldn't that be eventful? Why isn't that event management? Okay, now let's think about that. Event management is similar to incident management, but in event management, think about this, at least what you're doing, although there's a lot of decision making in the moment, you planned to do, right? You were staging an event, you were managing an event. Oh, okay, wait a minute. So the rescuing of the stranded animals, you didn't plan the flood and the need for a rescue. That's why it does not fit in that category. But there's something that's going to take a lot of your managerial talent in the moment. There's something that's going to unfold within a very narrow window of time, right? But it needs careful planning in advance and good decision making in the moment. I'm trying to describe event management that is on that list. Notice it. What has a real-time element here? The pro sports match. But the match itself, the game, definitely would have been scheduled. Oh, it's similar, right, in the degree of pure service and also in the high degree of sort of real-time decision-making. The two of them are similar, but right, the pro sports match, that's definitely event management. That's another thing that helps you distinguishing the rescuing of the animals. Oh, okay, now remember what we're trying to do is find one letter for each one of the things on our list, and so already we have two of them done. I have an idea of what manufacturing the patented drug might be, but I still can't attach a letter to that because there's two different positions in that category. Then, let's see, well, what about construction of a ship? I'm going up to the top of the list now. Construction of the ship, is a classic example of project management. You say, well, how do you know that? Remember, project management, there is a distinct outcome, a designed outcome, and then it's unique, right? You're generally only going to do this once, at least this particular thing once. And basically, shipbuilding is one of the textbook favorites of project management. Now, project management takes in a lot, and you can even argue that event management is a special type of project management. Yes. But notice the difference between the shipbuilding and the sports match. The sports match, what you're delivering is essentially entertainment, right, to the paying audience. Then it's highly intangible, whereas if you're constructing a ship, what you're actually going to deliver and be paid for is very much a tangible good and object. And you will be doing it over a series of weeks and months, unlike the sports match, not in a very, very narrow window of time. Okay, that's what's making the difference between project management and event management. Construction of a ship does not belong in the production and service management category because it's not something you do over and over again. Well, there's only one position left in project management, and yeah, notice that it's down here at the bottom. By pure good, a project is a distinct good. I'm very comfortable with calling that one B. There's the construction of the ship. Oh, which means that I've got these two positions left over, and we keep saving this category, production and service management. I already said, manufacturing the patented drug is going to wind up in here somewhere, but then who's left over? So will the restaurant. Oh, all right. Now, that one category to the left, project, production, and service management. So what's the deal with that? I mean, what sort of things should go in there? Anything that's an ongoing operation, right? Anything that involves habitual activities. You do it this week in order to provide whatever it is you provide, and then you do it next week to provide whatever it's going to provide on an ongoing basis. Manufacturing the drug is being done on an ongoing basis, and so would the operation of a restaurant. Okay, so they're both going to be in that category, but the question is who gets position A and who gets position C? Well, the difference between position A and position C is this other second categorization scheme in here, the degree of tangibility of the product. Okay, so in order to make that diagnosis, what we're talking about is relative to the value that's being provided, how much of that value actually is accounted for in the product, how much of it is tangible, it's solid, and how much of it is all of the actions and the experience that go along with it. All right, well, I have manufacturing to choose from. Okay, bottom line, the word manufacturing, very often it's a he, is indicating something. We habitually use that word to indicate producing something that's quite tangible, a good, a thing. Versus the operation of a restaurant. Well, you say, well, a restaurant provides something tangible. I go there to get food. Food is tangible. Yes, you do, but a restaurant is a very good example of something that is, compared to what, money that you're paying, 50-50. You're half paying for the actual food and you're half paying for the service. That's why you went to the restaurant. Otherwise, you would have gone to the supermarket, paid less, right? Just gotten the food. No, I'm going to go to the restaurant. Somebody's going to cook it for me. Somebody's going to clean up. A restaurant is a good example of a mixed good. Oh, wait. A mixed good would be something that would be in between on this range, and that is appropriately awarded to the restaurant. Right, whereas if you're manufacturing a patented drug, something else concerning the production of a nearly pure good is that it is very often something that's created at volume. When we're manufacturing, you'll notice this pattern. When we're manufacturing, we tend to be making a lot of something, and there it's going to sift down to the bottom of, what we're mostly paying for at that point is just the good itself.